Because our country don't love us. For you to spend 1 second in that place, you will not like it. Talk less of spending like me. I spend 75 days.
My ordeal there has been a bitter experience, I may say, because since when we were captured, we have to walk a long miles for almost 3 days before we reach our camp where we have been detained for more than or close to 4 months.
Majorly, just staying there, it's a trauma where you're not used to. You've never dreamt to be there for whatsoever reason, but then waking up one day and something like that happening, and you feel like you're just dreaming. Like, it's really overwhelming and traumatizing. So
The victims of the ill-fated Kaduna-bound train attacked by terrorists have shared their experience with the International Center for Investigative Reporting.
among the abductees from the train of the AK9 Abuja-Kaduna train on 28th of March, we were attacked and abducted. And for me, I spent 75 days in the camp, and it was really traumatizing, disheartening, and I don't know, it's somehow overwhelming due to no freedom, the fact that you have to stay, as in no proper hygiene, no good food nutrition, and we have to deal with reptiles and all. That night, around at my time exactly 7:53, the bomb blast on the rail, and then the train started derailing. But then, thank God, the driver was able to hold the head of the train not to capsize and all. So we were in the train, and the policemen in the train were like, they asked us to lie down, to go down, which we did for our own safety. And they went out to, I don't know, whatsoever it was, but we started hearing gunshots outside, and later on the gunshot stopped. Then like 3 minutes later, the bandits they came into the train and started shooting randomly. And at that point, if you're standing and not lying down, to cost you your life. So for we who I think survived, because we laid down, and when they stopped shooting, eventually they started asking us to go out, flogging us to move out, collecting our phones, our bags and all. And that was how they gathered us in one place and conveyed us to where we slept that night. Trekked for like 5 days to where we were being kept. Majorly, just staying there, it's a trauma where you're not used to. You've never dreamt to be there for whatsoever reason, but then waking up one day and something like that happening, and you feel like you're just dreaming. Like, it's really overwhelming and traumatizing. So
Actually, my ordeal there has been a bitter experience, I may say, because since when we were captured, we have to walk a long miles for almost 3 days before we reach our camp where we have been detained for more than or close to 4 months. And being there is a bitter experience actually, because since we arrived at camp, we have been sleeping on bare ground for most of the time, come rain, come sunshine. We have been there. Mosquitoes, reptiles, and snakes were threatening us for a very long time. We have killed more than 10 snakes and some other reptiles like scorpion and what have you. And they actually told us when they captured us that they have some demands they need from the government. That is the reason they even struck that train. And once the government fulfill that their demand, because their people has been in detention, some for more than 2 years, and even including children and women. So they thought that within few weeks or couple of days, if the government fulfill their demand, we will be released. But I don't think our government were adamant to that, and that led us to this long extension of time. Yes, actually, I'm still a staunch supporter of Buhari, but in the area of security, I can score this government below average. Because one of their major responsibility is to see that the life and property of its citizenry is being guaranteed by this government. But as it is now, I can say the government has failed woefully in that area actually, and I call on the government, in spite of huge resources allocated to the issue of security in Nigeria, there is nothing to write home about. So the government need to double up, need to step up to see that this thing has come to an end, and especially looking at the way these people are being provoked by the attitude of government, because initially our family members were facilitating our release on Friday, and we learned that the security agencies aborted that effort, and that provoked our captors, and that led to that release of viral video on the way they are treating us. And I believe our people there are still in a bad situation, and it may worsen. That's why we call even on the international community and other developing nations to come to their rescue.
For me, regaining my freedom and my husband, we thank God, but it's not all, because there's many people there, like 40 people are there, the children, the old women, the elderly men, so people, they seriously need help. Always sit down on the ground, we doing nothing. If you see us doing something, maybe we are cooking in the kitchen. We used to say we are in the, if today, because we group ourselves, we the women, into 3 groups. So group 1 will cook today, the other groups. So when, sister, how are you? When are you in the kitchen? My own is tomorrow. Oh, that's all. Only cooking does it. I feel bad actually, but it was not that too bad, because I have already know how he was, because I left him like a month before the video come out. So he was very, I know the condition he was, so that's why I was not disturbed a lot, and I know they can beat them because they have beaten us once.
Family members of the victims who did not disclose on camera the payment of ransom to terrorists expressed their thoughts on difficulties faced while their relatives were in captivity.
It happens, I can't actually recall the day. I received a call from unknown names, in which they told me that I am supposed to talk to them, that I've been instructed to convey a message that they need me to talk to press about the victims. It started from there. So I would say from there, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, this is what we have been going through. No sleep, even work, I've not been going to work. My family suffered, I suffered, almost everybody suffered on this issue. And actually, it's not a pleasant experience.
With my younger sister, my biological sister, Azulfa. So Azulfa is still in captivity. Yes, and just to tell you how life has been, it has not been the same. In fact, the trauma is something else. Like nothing is just good as far as our existence is concerned. So it has not been easy, honestly. We are not used to this kind of life, and it has really been life has really been terrible for me and my siblings.
Frontline civil society organization on human rights, the Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education, condemned outrightly the actions of the terrorists and the inactions of government.
We condemn the lackadaisical attitude of the government to the current realities on the ground. Because if you have an emergency, you need to respond like it's an emergency. You cannot have an emergency. You cannot have your house on fire and you are still behaving as if things are normal. This is not a normal situation. If the state, which has the power to bear arms, employ people who bear arms, says it's our collective responsibility, as if citizens should go and be confronting the terrorists, then it also shows that they've lost it. And if they've lost it, then they should just leave. They should just get the hell out of that, out of those seats of responsibility, and allow people who can secure the country come in there.
Religious leaders also accuse government of playing to the gallery instead of bringing an end to the lingering insecurity.
We think people are just fools. They will react. So the way we react is the way things are bad. How can a Fulani man in a Ruga man, the president will say, kill them, bombard them? And truly, the Arugas were killed. So how do you want him to react? One, he will lose respect for you. He will want revenge. And even the devil, if he's going to give him weapons, he will connive with them. It's a simple issue. These are northern people and they are Muslims and they are saying Allahu Akbar. So that's simple. Let's go with Allahu Akbar and say, look, Allah did not say you should kill people. Allah said this. Then they will tell us, we have this problem, this problem, this problem. We'll say, yes, we know you have that problem. But the problem is, when you come out, that government that is supposed to solve that problem will not even listen to you.
Buhari government have not done good for Nigerians. But I think they've been putting more energy and resources for propaganda. As a Nigerian and as a stakeholder, I can say it is sad. When the children of Baptist High School were kidnapped, 121 of them, it took the Baptist Convention to pay over 250 million to get 120 of those children back home. As I speak to you now, one of the young men is still there with the bandits. Is he alive? Has something happened to him? What really exactly is the situation? Nobody knows. So why can we refuse to accept reality that things are not going on in our country? One requirement of the law of Nigeria is that the president or the government of Nigeria should protect lives and properties of citizens and people who lived in the land. Lives and properties of citizens are being destroyed. And all we hear is rhetoric. This is sad. This is a failed government that should honor and ask for help where they can find help.
Former senator and human rights activist blames the government of President Buhari for letting things get out of control. He says only strategic and timely intervention can salvage the situation at hand.
Nigeria is at war with terror groups and insurgents and bandits. And we must find solutions to this, because apart from our own homegrown terror groups, it appears that the terror groups are also inviting other fighters and terrorists from other parts of West Africa and Central Africa to come into Nigeria. And because there is a systemic failure on the side of the government, they are becoming more audacious. They sometimes even write letters to villages to announce to them that they are coming, and they will come the same day.
While Nigeria continues to grapple with daunting security challenges, for victims who have had chilling experiences, the only way to restore faith in Nigeria is for government to provide adequate security and psychosocial support to those traumatized to enable them sleep with their two eyes closed.